Hi everyone, welcome to a new project, and it is this little gazebo, which I'm going to have a hard time picking up because the little candle in it is not glued down, but I think it's adorable. This is from Stamperia. It is one of their decorative chips. It's from the Sleeping Beauty collection, as I recall, and so this is it. You get all the little bits you need. The beads on the top are from my stash. Otherwise, you get what you need. I lined this with rice paper from the Romantic Christmas collection that I just used a couple of times. And it's just so cute. I really like it. I added some glitter around the base for snow, and I added a couple of beads on top. And I used my gold wax on the little ribs at the top. And I'm going to turn it so you can see. And like I said, the candle inside, it's a little battery operated votive that is not glued down. So it's a little hard for me to kind of show you the whole thing. But I will have pictures that you can see. And yikes. Okay, see what I mean? Let me try and turn off my filming lights, but the camera may make up for that, so it may not work. But so there's that. It's just super cute. I think it's going to make a nice little decoration. Go and turn the lights back on. And I did some work on it before I started, but not a ton. So I think probably an hour, 90 minutes, you could get it done, give or take. But anyway, it's really cute. And of course, you could add all kinds of flowers, or you could paint it. There's so much you could do with it. I kept it pretty simple just to show you the basics of how to put this thing together, with a few little extra tips that I did to make it a little bit more refined, I thought. So anyway, stay tuned. We'll get started and we will make this project. Okay. So let us make this thing. Now, this is a dry fit. We'll get to that in a minute. So there are duplicate parts here. We're going to make 6 of several parts. So I've gone ahead and pre-done 5 of each, just so that we're not doing the same thing over and over and over again. But I'll show what we've got. Alright, so I haven't done that one, and I haven't done that one. Okay, I have done that one. Okay, so here's our base. I have not overly painted these. I did use a little where there were a lot of burn marks from the laser that cut it out, but mainly only if there was something on the front. So what we need to do, now I don't know if I talked about this in the walkthrough, so I'm going to mention it now. On the picture of this thing, which I don't see, but also on the website for it, it shows these tall pieces with side notches that attach them together, and mine doesn't have those. Now I've had this a long time, maybe they've changed it since, but the packaging for this showed them. So I'm just going to come up with my own way to do that. And then, so what I've done is put rice paper in these. I'm going to show you that. These are the roof pieces, and I'm going to put a tea light in this, an electric one. Please don't put a flame inside a paper gazebo. In any event, I'm going to put a light in it, and I didn't really want all the light to shoot up through the roof, so I'm just putting solid cardstock. It's a green on those. Okay, and this one's done. So let me show you. I just have these 2 pieces and this one. We might as well do this one first because I've got the piece basically cut. So what I did is I measured this height, which turned out to be about 1 3/4. So I cut a 2-inch strip. Then I laid the piece on the strip and traced it, and then traced it 6 times, and cut 6 of these. Now these are going to be a little too big because I cut them right on that traced line, and they need to be on the inside. So if you look at this, it's basically exactly the same size. So I am just going to take my little scissors and just trim all the way around, just a tiny bit off, okay? And I have to lift it up where I can see it, I'm sorry. But let me put that down so you can see it's just a tiny bit. And then I want to glue these on the back, which is the side with the most burns on them. These are cut with a laser and it burns the material a little bit. Okay. And I think I'm going to take a little bit more. Okay, I think, let me see, just a little bit down here. All right, that should do. And I'm just using art glitter glue. Now you could paint all of these pieces, you know, a color. Dark green might be pretty or something like that. I am going to add some gold. But first I'm going to do this part because I'm only putting the gold on the roof trim pieces. So I'm just putting a little glue around the perimeter, and then on the inside just a few dots here and there. Okay. Put a little too much glue, but that's okay. And I'm just kind of pressing it on my surface to make sure I've got good connection. Okay, so there's my 6 roof pieces. Then we have this piece, and I do not know, here it is. This is actually the piece I want to use for this. So I just did the same thing, and I cut these pieces 1 3/8 by 2 5/8. Okay, and again you want to turn it over. See how much more burnt this side is? That's where, pardon me, that's where we're going to put this. Now you want to be careful not to get any glue or your paper down on the little stubs at the bottom, because those are the parts, excuse me, I can't speak, those are the parts that go into the base. Okay, and then this piece, I'm going to turn it around. Goes there. Now on these pieces, these full height ones, the you know, there are openings, so somebody could look in. So what I did is cut a couple of super skinny strips. You can see they're so skinny that they twisted even on me. I've got this one that's a little thicker. Maybe I'll use that one. Although the ones I used were pretty skinny. And I'm just going to use these to do a little bit of trim. I don't know if you can see it on these. So I'm just laying it down, sort of marking it with my fingernail. These aren't going to be highly visible, but I just think they add a little finishing touch and protect the edge of the rice paper a little bit. Okay. And this one is the thicker one, thinner one. I think I want this one. So same thing. Just gonna lay it down and make, again, don't go into where these little tabs are at the bottom. Okay. You can see. Okay. Trying to figure out the best way to do this. So I want to make sure it's, I don't have too much of a gap at the top. Bottom doesn't matter as much, I don't think. Not that it matters at all. You don't need this piece at all. Okay, there we go. All right, so there's that one. And I am getting a little warping, but we'll see how it goes. I think it'll be fine because they fit into the slots. Okay, and then this is the last one we have to do, and we only need this little spot here. And I think I'll just, that one's kind of plain. Maybe I can do it with, I have this piece here. Yeah, I think I'll do it with one of these. Now with this one, I'm just lining it up with a straight edge on the side, and then I'm just going to trace this shape. Okay, that. And then I'm just going to cut along that line just to the inside of the line. Okay. Now, I don't know why, but I found this particular piece to be the hardest to cut. It's just really, I don't know, maybe because the paper's so flimsy? Alright, so I'm going to put it down there, and I need to cut a little off the top and the sides, which I knew I would. Just be careful and make sure you put the printed side down. Okay, I think that's pretty good. It's so small, if a little bit peeks out, I think it'll be fine. Okay. I've definitely got a little bit peeking out, but that's okay, because I can always come back with a craft knife later if I need to and trim it. Okay, so there's all of those pieces. Okay, now let's set those aside for a moment. And let me show you how these work. It's very easy. They are not glued right now. I don't think they even need to be glued, but let me just pull them apart. Okay, so you have two of these little gear things and then the ribs, okay? And I did go through with some white paint and just paint the edges and a little bit on the where it was really burned because they weren't going to get painted later. And I just wanted to just draw a blank. You know, I just wanted to knock down the burn. So now I am going to rub a little gold. This is my Art Alchemy metallic wax. I'm just gonna squeeze out a little bit. And I'm just using my finger for this. And I want to put some on these. Now, just be careful that you don't get a lot of gunk in the mechanism where you need to put those pieces. Otherwise, you might have trouble putting the pieces in. And I know I'm going to make a huge mess with this wax and get it all over myself, but that's okay. So I'm just putting a little on the edges and some on the bottom. Okay, so there's one. I'm not being too fussy with the bottom because it won't be very visible. Okay, so there's those. And I'm trying to decide if I want to put the gold on these. Why not? You could use gold paint or just leave them as is or paint them another color or whatever you want to do. Okay, my hands are still a mess, but I got most of it off. All right, I'm not going to touch those for a minute. Okay, let's just set those aside. And let's get back to these. So they're bowed a little bit from the glue, plus, as I mentioned, I don't have the little tabs that they have on there. So I am going to turn all these over. Okay, and the way these work is sort of like this, where there's two and then a door and two and a door. Okay, and I think what I am going to do, because I don't really want gaps between them when I put this thing together, otherwise, I mean, there's probably going to be some gaps, but I'd like to minimize the number of gaps. So what I did is I cut these pieces. They're 1/4 inch scored in half, and I think I'm going to glue them in between like hinges. And they could be narrower, but I think they'd be hard to handle if they were narrower. So let's see, how long is that? 2.5. All right, so 2.5 inch by a 1/4 inch, scored in half. And I'm just going to pre-bend these a little bit on the score line, which is hard with something that's only a 1/4 inch wide. All right, that's not bad. And then open it up again. I hope this works. If this doesn't work, you'll never see this video. Okay. And I'm going to run a bead of glue. Come on. I should have refilled this bottle. It's almost empty. There we go. Oops. And then I'm just going to put one side on there. And I'm not going all the way to the top or all the way to the bottom. And then I'm just going to butt these together and put that side down. Just make sure they're nice and even. And that should give me a bit of a hinge. Okay, so far I'm okay with that. I'm just opening it up a little to make sure I don't glue it shut. Okay, and then this one is going to go there. So I'm just going to do the same thing. Actually, I had a piece of folded over. What did I do with it that I didn't use? I don't think it's long enough. Okay. And I'm just going to lay it down. Pencil mark. Cut. Again, you want to make absolutely sure these are lined up, top to bottom. Okay, and that's going to give me another hinge. And it occurs to me, because I'm doing this, we really didn't need these little side pieces, but I didn't decide on it till after I put them in. I would still put the top ones though. Okay, go. Now we need this one. Now the last one we're just going to put here, and it'll have to come around and be attached to the first one, which I think I'll do after I've dry fitted, or maybe not. We'll see. Okay, that is going there. So then this is going to have to come around and be attached there. And I think we can go ahead and do that now. Don't mind my head if it's in the frame. Okay. I'm going to bring this around and just make sure everything is lined up. And squeeze that together a little bit. Okay, then this, probably ought to let it dry, is going to have to go in here. I'm trying to decide the best way to go about that. It's very easy before I did what I just did. Took some fidgeting, but I've got it. And I think I may go back and add some glue or something, but for now I'm going to leave it. Now, the roof. Okay, so the way the roof works is you take one, see this side that has the straight edge and the two divots? Okay, the top one goes on, and then the bottom one on one of these little discs, just like that. So you have two discs, and I like to put the opposite one. Now that kind of holds everything steady while you put the rest on. Once you have these on, it's a pretty sturdy assembly. It doesn't wobble or anything. Okay, there we go. Then we have our roof pieces, and it is not at all clear in the directions how these are attached. So this piece goes here. Like that. Okay, so that goes like that. Okay, we're gonna put our candle in. I'm not sure I can get it in the door, to tell you the truth. And then these, I believe, go in so they rest on the outer part of the gazebo, and then there's a little, that lower disc, and then they rest there. And I think if you just glue it in those two places, you'll be good. Now before I do that, grab my candle. I want to see, am I going to be able to get it through the door? Just maybe. I might have to angle it. Okay, so if I do, okay. So in order to be able to get the candle in, I'm going to have to be able to make this removable. So I can't glue the roof pieces to this base. I'm going to have to glue them up there and along the sides, but not here. Okay, if that makes sense. Okay. Or you could buy a smaller candle, but okay. So what I am going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of glue on that base right there. And then I am going to put glue along the edges, staying away from about the last 1/4 of an inch or so. And just spread that a little bit. And then we're going to put that in on there. Okay, it still lifts up. Just going to squeeze that a little bit. I think that's going to work. Okay, let's just do that all the way around. Oh, that was a lot of glue. That's okay. It dries clear, as you all know. That's more glue than I really want, though. Oh, come on. It's because it's almost empty. I'm going to see if I can get in there and scoop some of that glue. Spread it a little bit. Okay. As I can't, normally I would be in there with my baby wipe getting rid of any extra seepage, but I can't, so I'm just going to use a little strip of paper and see if I can get it there. Okay, there we go. Oops, okay. Try not to squeeze it too hard like I just did. Okay, there we go. You should be able to undo it from here to fill it, but mine has so much glue and it's a pain. Pretty much the end of that. Ugh. Just be careful when you're doing this so you don't put anything in upside down. Okay, that's good. Okay. Get in there. Okay, one more. I do see some gaps, but I think it's holding. Okay. All right, I'm going to leave that for a few minutes to dry. And I will be right back. Okay, I am back. So I should pick this up so you guys can see it. And I think what I'm going to do, and I don't know where it is, so I may not do it until closer to Christmas, but I may just run a whole lot of glue around the outside of this and then add some glitter. Yeah, not the tiny fine glitter, but like the big glass glitter that looks like snow. Anyway, okay, so this should be solid now. And what I'm thinking, to dress it up a little more, is put a bead on top and then add a little half bead. But I think I'm going to do it off here. And the reason I'm doing it off here is there's actually a hole down the middle there, and I do not want the glue to just drop down there. And in the same vein, I'm going to use Fabri-Tac. I don't know if that's going to work. Maybe I should use E6000. It's thick. Hot glue would be ideal, but I don't actually have any idea where my hot glue gun is. I haven't actually lost all my things, but when I was moving, there were some things that I just didn't move. Like I just decided I don't need that. I'm not going to move it. But you know how that is. After a while, you can't remember, like, did I not move that? Or did I put that thing in a safe place? Okay. This gets all gunked over. All right, so I just put a little dab of that on a piece of plastic that I have off to the side. And then I am going to just, whoa, lose that bead. I'm just going to dip the bead in it. Get a good dollop on there. I think I need a little more. Don't smush down. You don't want to break the thing. Okay. And then I am going, now these are adhesive, so I don't have to really worry too much about these. think I will use some art glitter glue though on these. Whoa. Okay, I did not need that much art glitter glue. Okay, I think that'll be all right. Looks like a hot mess right now. Yikes. It's like we put BB-8 on top of the gazebo. I've got so much glue on my hands that everything is sticking. All right, set that aside for the moment. Okay. And then I've got my little battery operated candle. And once that's in there, I'm not going to be able to really lift it up to show you. Because it's going to slide around a little bit, but I will take pictures. Okay. Yikes, sorry, I'm just going to try to hold it in place and tip this so that you guys can see. You know what? Hang on. My camera's probably just going to adjust to the light, but let me turn off my lights and see what happens. Okay, well, there's just one with just one of my recording lights. It's really pretty. All right, how's it? Put both of them off. Oh, that's so pretty. I hope you guys can see. Oh, I love that. And on this side has a little bit more color. Pretty. Okay. Turn my lights back on. Okay. Jolly would like you all to know that she is done. All right. I'm going to call this done. I do have to record the intro still, and I have to, take pictures of it. So probably what I will do is put that glitter that we were talking about around it, or at the very least, I'll add some glue where it attaches to the base. So you will have seen that in the walkthrough and the pictures. But anyway, so thank you so much. You can get this gazebo at Scrap and Create. It's from Stamperia. This is part of the, I want to say, Sleeping Beauty. This is part of the Sleeping Beauty line. But of course, you can use anything. The paper, the rice paper, is from Romantic Christmas. It's the same rice paper that I used in the album that we made. And that's all I used. I will link down below these little electric votives in case you need them, battery operated. And then the beads, of course, from my stash. The wax is linked down below. It's a nice, fun little project. I enjoyed it. Pardon me. All right, so I will see you next time. We'll do something else. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.